Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Without Stress. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Mary. How's it going, Andrew?
I'm doing great, thanks. You know what? It's Thursday afternoon as we're recording this, and I've got to say, I'm already thinking about the weekend.
Oh, I hear you. Thursday has that special feeling, doesn't it? You're almost there, but not quite. So are you making any plans yet?
Actually, yes, and that's perfect because today we're talking all about weekend plans, how we make them, how we talk about them, and all those natural expressions English speakers use when discussing their weekends.
Exactly. And this is such a common topic. I mean, think about it. How many times do you chat with coworkers, friends, or even strangers about weekend plans?
All the time. It's one of those universal conversation starters. Any plans for the weekend? It's right up there with talking about the weather.
So true. And for our listeners learning English, this is super practical because you'll definitely have these conversations. Whether you're at work on a Friday afternoon, meeting up with friends, or just making small talk.
Right. So we're going to break down the phrases, the different ways to express your plans, and we'll even talk about those subtle differences between saying you might do something versus you will do something.
And we'll keep it natural and relaxed, just like we're having coffee and chatting about our weekends. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. Let's dive in.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. How do you actually ask someone about their weekend plans?
Well, the most common question is probably, what are you doing this weekend? Super simple, super common.
Exactly. And notice we usually say this weekend, not the weekend or on weekend.
Good point. You can also say, got any plans for the weekend? That's really casual and friendly.
I love that one. It's very natural. You'll hear it at work all the time, especially on Fridays. Someone walking by your desk might say, "Hey, got any plans for the weekend?"
And you can make it even more casual by dropping the word you, like, any plans for the weekend?
Yes, or even shorter, "Doing anything this weekend?"
Exactly. Now, if you want to be a bit more formal, maybe you're talking to your boss or someone you don't know very well, you might say, do you have any plans for the weekend?
Right, that's a bit more polite and complete. But honestly, even in professional settings, the casual versions are fine. I mean, you're not writing an email to the CEO here.
True. Now, here's something interesting. Sometimes people ask about the weekend when it's not even close to the weekend yet.
Oh, absolutely. Like on a Tuesday or Wednesday, someone might say, "What are you up to this weekend?" It's still a bit early, but people like to plan ahead.
And that's totally normal. It shows you're thinking ahead and interested in making plans with them, maybe.
Or you're just really excited about the weekend.
Fair enough. Now, what about when the weekend is already over? On Monday morning, people ask, how was your weekend?
Yes, that's a classic Monday morning question. Or you can say, "Did you have a good weekend?"
And here's a fun one. What did you get up to this weekend? The phrase get up to is very British and Australian, but you'll hear it in American English too.
I love that phrase. It has this playful tone to it, like maybe you did something a little mischievous or interesting.
Exactly. It's like saying, what did you do, but with a bit more personality.
So, to recap for our listeners, the main ways to ask are, "What are you doing this weekend?" "Got any?" And "Doing anything special?" All very natural, all very common.
Perfect summary. Now let's talk about how to actually answer these questions.
All right, so someone asks you, "Any plans for the weekend?" How do you respond?
Well, it depends on what you're actually doing. Let's start with the scenario where you do have plans. You might say, yeah, I'm going to the movies with some friends.
Notice Andrew said, "I'm going to," with "going to" for future plans. That's super common for things you've already decided to do.
Exactly. You could also say, I'm planning to visit my parents, or I'm thinking about going hiking.
Oh, good distinction there. "I'm planning to" sounds pretty definite, like it's probably going to happen. But "I'm thinking about" is more uncertain.
Right. If you say, I'm thinking about going to the beach, it means you haven't fully decided yet. Maybe it depends on the weather, or if your friends can come, or if you feel like it.
Exactly. There's also "I might go to a concert." The word might tells people it's just a possibility.
And then there's, I'll probably catch up on some sleep. Probably is somewhere in between, like there's a good chance, but it's not 100% certain.
These little words make such a big difference. I'm going, I might go, I'll probably go, I'm thinking about going. They all show different levels of certainty.
Absolutely. Now, what if you don't have any big plans?
That's very common too. You might say, nothing much, just relaxing at home.
Or, not much, probably just taking it easy.
I love the phrase, taking it easy. It means you're going to relax and not do anything too strenuous.
Right. You could also say, I'm just going to chill this weekend.
Chill is very casual and means the same thing. Just relaxing, not doing much.
Another good response is, I haven't decided yet, or I'm still figuring it out.
Yes, that's honest and perfectly fine. Not everyone plans their weekend days in advance.
And sometimes people say, I'm keeping my options open. That means you're not committing to anything specific yet.
Ooh, that's a good one. It sounds flexible and spontaneous.
Now, here's something interesting. In English, we often add little phrases at the end of our response to keep the conversation going.
Right, like, I'm going to the farmer's market on Saturday. How about you?
Perfect example. Ending with how about you or what about you or just you invites the other person to share their plans too.
It makes the conversation feel more like a dialogue than an interview. You're showing genuine interest.
Exactly. You could also say things like, I'm meeting up with some old friends. Should be fun. Any plans yourself?
And notice how Andrew added, should be fun. That's a nice little comment that gives more personality to the response.
Right. These little additions make you sound more natural and engaged in the conversation. You're not just listing facts.
So let me give a complete example. Someone asks, doing anything this weekend? And you respond, yeah, I'm thinking about checking out that new Thai restaurant downtown. I've heard great things about it. What about you?
Perfect. You shared your plan, gave a bit of detail about why, and then turned the question back to them. That's how native speakers do it.
Exactly. It feels natural and conversational, not scripted.
Okay, so now let's talk about some specific activities and the natural ways to talk about them.
Great idea. Let's start with staying home. What are some ways to express that?
You could say, I'm staying in this weekend, or I'm having a quiet weekend at home.
Both of those sound nice and relaxed. There's also, I'm just going to hang out at home.
Hang out is a great casual phrase. It means spending time somewhere in a relaxed way.
Right. Now, what about going out to eat?
You might say, I'm going out for dinner with my family, or we're trying that new pizza place.
Notice going out for dinner versus going to dinner. Both work, but going out for emphasizes that you're leaving your house to eat somewhere else.
Good point. And trying a new place is a really common phrase. People love discovering new restaurants.
What about outdoor activities?
Oh, tons of options. I'm going hiking. We're planning a picnic in the park. Or I might go for a bike ride.
And you could say, if the weather's nice, I'm going to the beach.
Yes, that conditional if the weather's nice is super common for outdoor plans. Because, weather can be unpredictable.
Absolutely. You might also hear, weather permitting, we're having a barbecue.
Weather permitting is a nice, slightly more formal way to say the same thing.
Now let's talk about social activities with friends.
Okay, so you might say, I'm meeting up with some friends, or I'm catching up with an old friend.
Catching up is perfect for when you haven't seen someone in a while and you want to hear what they've been up to.
Right. You could also say, I'm hanging out with friends, or we're getting together for coffee.
Getting together is such a useful phrase. It works for any kind of social gathering, whether it's coffee, dinner, or just hanging out.
Absolutely. And here's a fun one. I'm having people over.
Yes, that means you're hosting something at your place, maybe a dinner party or just a casual get-together.
You could also say, I'm throwing a little party, or we're having a game night.
Those sound fun. Now, what about errands and chores? Because, let's be honest, weekends aren't always just fun and relaxation.
So true. You might say, I need to run some errands, or I've got to catch up on chores.
Run errands is such a common phrase. It means doing all those little tasks like grocery shopping, going to the post office, picking up dry cleaning.
Right. And catch up on is used for things that have piled up. Catch up on laundry, catch up on housework, catch up on emails.
You could also say, I'm doing some cleaning this weekend, or I need to organize my closet.
And here's one that's very relatable. I'm just going to catch up on sleep.
Yes, for when you've had a busy week and you just need to rest.
You might also hear, I'm binge watching a new series, or I'm finally going to finish that book I started.
Those are perfect examples of how people talk about entertainment plans. Very natural and specific.
Now let's talk about when you're doing multiple things across the weekend.
Right, because usually your weekend isn't just one activity. You might have different plans for Saturday and Sunday.
Exactly. So you could say, on Saturday, I'm going shopping, and then on Sunday, I'm having lunch with my family.
Or Saturday morning, I'm going to the gym, and in the afternoon, I might meet up with friends.
Notice how we break it down by day or by time of day. Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, Sunday evening.
That gives a clear picture of your whole weekend. You could also say, I'm free Saturday, but Sunday I'm busy with family stuff.
Perfect. And sometimes people give a general overview first, then details, like, it's going to be a pretty busy weekend. I've got a birthday party on Saturday, and Sunday I'm helping my friend move.
That's a natural way to structure your response. Set the tone, then give specifics.
So we've talked about discussing your plans, but what about actually making plans with someone during the conversation?
Great point. This happens all the time. You're chatting about the weekend, and suddenly you're making plans together.
Right. So you might say, I don't have anything planned yet. Do you want to do something?
Or, are you free Saturday afternoon? Want to grab coffee?
Grab coffee is such a classic phrase. It's casual and friendly, suggesting a relaxed meetup.
You can also say, grab lunch, grab dinner, grab drinks. Grab makes it sound spontaneous and easygoing.
Exactly. Now, if you want to suggest something more specific, you might say, there's a new art exhibition downtown. Would you like to check it out?
Check it out is another great casual phrase, meaning to go see something or try something.
And here's how someone might respond positively. Yeah, that sounds great. What time works for you?
Or, I'd love to. Let's do it.
Let's do it is enthusiastic and casual. It shows you're excited about the plan.
Now, what if you need to decline or you're not sure? You might say, I'm not sure yet. Can I get back to you?
Or, I might be busy, but let me check and I'll let you know.
Both of those are polite ways to not commit right away. You're not saying no, but you need to verify first.
You could also say, I've already got plans, but what about next weekend?
That's perfect because you're declining but offering an alternative. It shows you're still interested in getting together.
Right. And if you really can't make it, you might say, I'd love to, but I can't this weekend. Rain check?
Rain check is such a useful expression. It means, let's postpone this and do it another time.
It comes from baseball, actually. If a game was rained out, you'd get a rain check to come back another day.
I love the history behind these phrases. Okay, so let's talk about making more concrete plans. What phrases do we use?
Well, once you've both agreed, you might say, so Saturday at 2 p.m. at the coffee shop on Main Street?
That's confirming all the details, day, time, and place. Then the other person says, perfect, see you then.
Or, sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan is such a common confirmation phrase. It's casual and positive.
You might also hear, I'll text you later to confirm, or shoot me a text on Saturday morning.
Shoot me a text is very casual American English for send me a message.
Right. And nowadays, plans often continue over text message. You might say in person, let me know what time works best, and then finalize details later.
Exactly. The in-person conversation starts the plan, and texting irons out the details.
Now, what about inviting someone to something you're already doing?
Oh, good one. You might say, hey, I'm going to the movies Saturday night. Want to join?
Or, a few of us are getting together for dinner Sunday. You should come.
You should come is a nice, enthusiastic invitation. It sounds welcoming and friendly.
And the response might be, that sounds fun. Count me in.
Count me in means, yes, I'm joining. It's enthusiastic and decisive.
Alternatively, I'll try to make it means you're interested but not 100% certain you can come.
Right, that's less committed. And if you can't go, you might say, thanks for the invite, but I can't make it. Have fun, though.
That's polite and positive. Even though you're declining, you're wishing them well.
Okay, Before we wrap up, let's talk about some cultural aspects of discussing weekend plans in English-speaking countries.
Great idea. So first thing, asking about weekend plans is considered very normal small talk. It's not intrusive or too personal.
Right. In fact, not asking about someone's weekend might seem a bit cold or distant, especially with coworkers or acquaintances.
Exactly. It's a way of showing friendly interest in someone's life without getting too personal.
Now, here's something interesting. When people ask, "How was your weekend?" on Monday, they usually expect a brief response, not a detailed account of everything you did.
So true. The typical response might be, "It was good, pretty relaxing. How was yours?"
Short and sweet. Unless something really interesting or unusual happened, people generally keep it concise.
Right, but if someone shares something specific like, "I went skydiving," then it's natural to ask follow-up questions and have a longer conversation.
Absolutely. The key is reading social cues and matching the other person's energy.
Another cultural note, in many English-speaking workplaces, discussing weekend plans on Fridays is almost a ritual. Everyone's winding down and getting excited about their time off.
Yes, there's this collective anticipation. Even if you're not doing anything special, just the fact that you have 2 days off is exciting.
And on Mondays, asking about the weekend is a gentle way to ease back into work mode. It's less intense than jumping straight into work talk.
Exactly. It's like a social warm-up.
Now, one more thing. In English, we have this interesting tendency to downplay our plans sometimes. Like, even if you have exciting plans, you might say, "Nothing much, just hanging out with friends."
That's true. It's a kind of modesty or casualness. You don't want to sound like you're bragging.
Right. Whereas in some cultures, people might be more enthusiastic and detailed about their plans from the start.
Neither approach is wrong, of course. It's just a cultural difference to be aware of.
Absolutely. And if you're learning English, don't worry too much about getting this perfect. Just be yourself and be friendly, and you'll be fine.
Exactly. The phrases we've covered today will help you sound natural, but authenticity is what really matters in conversation.
Well said. So let's do a quick recap of the key points from today's episode.
Great idea. So we covered how to ask about weekend plans with phrases like, "What are you doing this weekend?" and "Got any plans?"
We talked about responding with different levels of certainty. I'm going to, I might, I'm thinking about, and I'll probably.
We explored specific activities and natural phrases like hanging out, catching up, checking out, and grabbing coffee.
And we discussed making plans with others, including how to invite, accept, and politely decline.
Plus some cultural insights about how weekend plans fit into everyday conversation in English-speaking countries.
Hopefully, our listeners now feel more confident about having these conversations in English.
Well, that's about all we have time for today. Andrew, any final tips for our listeners?
Just one. Practice these phrases in real conversations. Don't just memorize them. Try them out with friends, classmates, or coworkers. That's how they'll become natural for you.
Perfect advice. And remember, everyone has weekend plans, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to practice this topic.
Absolutely. So what about you, Mary? Any plans for this weekend?
Well, I'm recording a podcast, clearly. But after this, I'm thinking about going for a hike if the weather's nice. How about you?
Nice. I'm keeping it low-key. Probably just catching up on some reading and maybe trying that new pizza place I mentioned earlier.
Sounds perfect. Well, listeners, we hope you enjoyed this episode of English Without Stress. If you found it helpful, we'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. It helps us keep creating content for you.
Yes, and if you have suggestions for future topics, drop them in the comments. We love hearing from you.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.